Guys, Crypto With Dinny here. What an evening. Bit of sunset for you. I owe you a video. Guys, this guy's a genius. You gotta listen to him. Look at the baby. All washed, nice and shiny. Give me 1 second we get in while yous are jumping on. I'm getting alerted of the live. I'll get settled. We'll get yous up there. Now. And I see Facebook is alerting people. YouTube is alerting people. Awesome stuff. Guys, welcome. Crypto With Dinny, it's Dinny here. Today I want to chat to you about, as I've taught people before, I don't need to work everything out. I prefer if someone else does that work for me. And if they do the experience and the track record, well, happy days. I'm happy to take advice off them. John, what's the crack? What's your story? So, I'm going to do a quick little video. I want to talk to you about how to not get scammed. Because, increasingly, I hear about people giving away their money. And money's hard enough to get. And you want to hold on to your own money. Never mind trying to get more money. You have to hold on to what you have. So I'll cover that at the end. And in the meantime, I will say my little spiel. Guys, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I advise financial advisors. I met one this week. I was explaining Bitcoin to him. But I personally am the financial advisor. So don't take anything that you hear on Crypto With Dinny as financial advice. I advise financial advisors, private individuals, businessmen about Bitcoin and crypto and how to understand the space. But this is not financial advice. This is just me having the crackages. And remember your daily exercise. If you're on my Instagram or on the stories, you'll see we're in the gym this morning. 6:30, got the job done, got a big pump on. And your daily exercise, let's start slow. Let's start you gentle. It's January. You know, don't pull a muscle. Just give me a nice little like and I'll be happy with that. That'll do. I might as well just get cracking on this. No point in me driving here. Because I'll only be wasting your time and people will be giving me out to me. Yeah, anyone who got a message from anyone, it wasn't me, because I don't message people out of the blue, and it's something that I always say in my videos. I don't message people out of the blue, but I'll talk to you about the scams and that. Anyway, so there's this dude. He's a legendary investor. His name's Bill Miller, okay? And he's the only guy who beat the S&P 500 for 15 years straight. And what the S&P 500 is, it's just an index, okay, of American companies. And in Ireland, you see, we don't understand the difference between financial advisor or fiduciary. And, you know, we always go to financial advisors for advice and they have these amazing products and they sell us them. And financial advisors get really, really wealthy and people don't. But the irony is, and worldwide this is the case. The irony is that, you know, investing into an index will, like, you seen the thing I shared on my story there the other day, yesterday I think it was. 4 companies, 4 hedge funds beat the S&P 500. 4 of them, that's it, only 4. Of all the hundreds and thousands of hedge funds, 4 of them beat the S&P 500. Okay? So these are professionals that people gave their money to, and they could have just bought the index themselves and not paid all the fees, not paid all the hidden fees that destroy their portfolio over time and destroy their pensions over time. So that's the irony. So it's quite hard to beat the S&P 500. This index, which is just a big basket. Okay? But Bill Miller is the only person that beat it for 15 years straight. So we can say, this guy probably knows what he's at. He's probably a good money manager. He understands how to make money. You know, he's got a track record that no one in the world has equaled. This man is 50% all in with his personal net worth, okay, in Bitcoin. So we've got some dude, in fairness to him, he ain't no spring chicken, but he seems to have got his head around this thing. And Bill Miller's put 50% of his personal net worth into Bitcoin. That's a really big statement. And I just want to go through it a little bit and work out sort of Bill's thoughts on it. Because I think, you know, I thought it was really insightful and I learned a few things. So just to share it, which is to have a little chat about it. And stick in the comments. Make sure you say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. And tell me what you think of this news. But I think it's a big statement. It's a bold statement. Because when you're a leader, okay, when you're an idol of many hedge fund managers and you go, whoa, we're short Bitcoin. We've been ignorant to it. And Bill owns half his net worth in Bitcoin. It's like, round up the troops. I need a report on this thing. Stat! You know, it's like, why didn't anyone tell me Bill was half in on it? Okay. There's a couple of things he went through. And it was really interesting. And I suppose if you follow this channel for a while, me and Bill agree. I don't know how that is. That's not a testament to me. Maybe it's just by luck or something. But at the start of March 2020, when the world started to fall apart. What's up, you answered the question on your last live. I am, James, don't worry. I'm just doing a quick video here, because I thought this was good news. So in March 2020, when the whole world nearly fell apart, okay, everything was crashing, and governments had to come in. They had to bail in, they had to pump money, they had to pump liquidity into the system to stop the whole system falling apart, and them needing armies on the street in every country, because civilization itself would have broke down if all stock markets fall apart. That's what happens. Same as 2008, they had to do it. Okay? So that was that system. And Bill calls Bitcoin his insurance. Okay? So that was that system. It needed liquidity, it needed free money. Governments had to bail in, print loads of money, and obviously now we've the inflation problem. Again, Crypto With Dinny, teaching people about that since June 2020. Financial advisors starting to teach people about it today. Don't be hating on the financial advisors. Economists, what about the economists? None of them seeing it coming. How they couldn't see it coming? I don't know. Do they not have a clue how money works? Bitcoiners do. Anyway, getting the jabs in, you're a bad man. Okay, so in the Bitcoin system, did it need government intervention? Did it need bailouts? Did it need free Bitcoin to be created and given out to communities and exchanges to stop that whole system collapsing? No. Nothing happened. Okay? It's a closed system. It didn't rely on any external support. It self-regulates. Okay? So it's an independent system of our existing system. And that's why Bill, in his head, he frames it as it's insurance. It's this existing system is shaky. It's a massive Ponzi scheme. I don't think he said that. They're my words, not his. But it looks to me like a massive Ponzi scheme that you need to print more and more money. And the stimulus that we done in 2008 was only a blip on the radar compared to the stimulus we needed to do in 2020. And what about our next crisis? When it comes, if it comes, when it comes. You know, maybe the stimulus that we done in 2020 is only a blip, although we printed half the currency ever in existence. And the dollar's around a couple of 100 years. And half of them were printed in 1 year. Like, that's crazy. You don't think so? But anyway, Bill thinks it's crazy too, and he sees Bitcoin as his insurance policy. One of the things that was brought up when you're being interviewed, because of course media love hitting on Bitcoin and bashing it and trying to foot it, so they keep poor people poor because they always push this bad narrative, so people are afraid to buy Bitcoin, and then they miss out on all the gains. And, you know, everyone says they wish they bought Bitcoin 5 years ago, but like, the same is true today. In 5 years time, people will wish they bought it in 2022. But one of the things that he was asked is like, what's the intrinsic value of this thing? You know, and the argument of intrinsic value, at least a gold coin has intrinsic value. But intrinsic value is subjective. It's totally subjective. I'm into motorbikes. I see massive intrinsic value in motorbikes, but some people don't give a crap about motorbikes. They couldn't care less. It's worthless. You know, value is very subjective. There was a baseball card sold for 5 million. It's a piece of cardboard. You know, it's a piece of cardboard. Anyone can copy it. How is that worth 5 million? Because humans decided it's worth 5 million. Okay? Picasso paintings, another example. How are they worth millions and millions and millions? Some lad painted them. They're only all colours on canvas. You know, I'd rather buy motorbikes with that money, but anyway. You know, so value is subjective to individuals. And right now, the world is putting intrinsic value on Bitcoin because there's almost $1 trillion worth in the whole asset, in the whole market cap. So just kind of interesting listening to him, how he worked through it and how he framed it. That's what he was talking about. The other thing he said was like, Bitcoin is a solution. It was a solution searching for a problem. Again, anyone who's done my workshops, this is what I've been telling you. Bitcoin was a solution in search of a problem. Bitcoin was created in 2008 for a crisis. It was created during a crisis for a crisis, and we're now in that crisis, money printing crisis. So that's why Bitcoin was created. And it's found its problem. Monetary debasement. Okay, which is just printing a money supply, expanding a money supply and devaluing everything that people hold. So savers, you know, it's a silent tax. People don't see it. People think inflation is 3% in Ireland. It's like, try and buy anything and see has it gone up 3%. It's like, nah, some things have doubled. That's 100%. Houses are up 30%. That's 30% inflation. Okay, so you lose everything in 3 years at that. If you want to buy, you know what I mean? It's crazy, crazy stuff. But you sort of accumulate a basket of stuff and you find out the mean. But his analogy to it was like, all technology is a solution in search of a problem. Look at the internet. The internet was invented for military. We couldn't predict how it would change our life and how we'd all live on the internet. You know, when the internet was invented, you've all seen the old thing of, you know, and the reporters and all were, what is internet? I don't know. What is internet? You know, and they hadn't a clue. Like, we didn't have a clue. Same way now, most people who don't understand Bitcoin, they don't realize how it's going to change our world. Our world will not look the same in a decade as it looks now. It'll look a lot better. It'll be a much better world because we won't be as wasteful, and we won't be constantly on a spend society, because we'll have a money that goes up in value. So when you have a money that goes up, at the minute we have a money that goes down in value, euros. So the incentive is to spend them, consume, wreck the earth. Okay? You want to get rid of them. You want to swap that money for something else. Okay? But imagine if we have a money that goes up in value. That's what Bitcoin is. Then you don't want to spend it. You only want to spend it on things that are critical, things that you really want. You're more careful about your purchases and what you buy, because you're like, I'm spending this now, and it's if I hold this money, it'll be worth more in the future. So do I really need this thing? Do I really want this thing? You know, so it creates a much better planet. And it just means that normal people don't have to become investors. They don't, you know, everyone's not going to get their wealth stolen through monetary expansion all the time, which is just happening, and it's happened. That's how I got interested in stuff. And my dad told me, he's like, I built my house for 30 grand. I was like, 20 grand. And I was like, how'd you build it for 20? And this is at the time you could buy a house in Ireland for 100 grand. I was like, how come dad got to build them for 20 and I need to go up with 100 grand? Like, surely it's easier to build a house now. Surely with the technology it's quicker to build a house now. Why can't I build a house for 10 grand? And it wasn't that houses got more expensive. It's just that the currency, due to monetary expansion, there being more units of currency in existence when houses were 100 grand versus when houses were 20 grand, that the currency had lost its purchasing power. So again, interesting stuff. And he was just working through it, and it was really, really interesting. Now, when I teach people about Bitcoin, I'm like, you don't need to go 50% all in. You don't need to do crazy stuff like that. But just, as the phrase goes, get off zero. Don't be a no-coiner. You know, buy a tiny little bit of Bitcoin, start learning about this thing. Because it's an absolute crazy, crazy world. And, you know we're getting screwed by holding euros. We know we're losing, 10% a year? Would you agree with 10% a year? Stick it in the comments. What do you think? Not what you think. What do you think? What do you think your level of inflation is at the moment? Is it 3%? Is everything that you want to buy going up around 3%? Would that be a fair figure? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 6? Is it 10? How much did petrol go up? I think it's more than 6, isn't it? Stick it in the comments. Let me know what you think inflation is running at right now. And also let me know if you think it's going to stay like this for a couple of years, or if you think it's going to go higher. Because as we see in the States and their figures, every month it's gone up. Again, the last month where they released the figures was yesterday, and it's gone up even higher. We're now into 7% over there. And that's CPI, which is not the true reflection. That's how they rigged the numbers to make it seem like everything's alright. But if they use the way they measured it in the 80s, I think it's 16%. So mad stuff. But anyway, really, really insightful listening to Bill. Go check out his articles if you're interested on it. But like I said, it's someone who has an amazing track record. It's someone who beat the S&P index for 15 years straight, which no other money manager in the world has managed to do. So it's not a pleb. It's not like me. It's not like some lad sitting in his car in the garden waffling about Bitcoin. It's someone with a track record, multiple decades long track record of being an incredible money manager. And Bill's came to the conclusion that he needs half of his net worth, his personal net worth, stored in Bitcoin. Crazy. Insightful. Guys, by the way, if you enjoyed the videos, if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, let me just give a little plug to my course. I do a free Bitcoin basics. Just teach people the basics of Bitcoin, how the protocol works, how to get involved in a risk-free way, and how to understand it and sort of put value on it and see where it goes next. And, you know, crypto's full of FUD and noise and junk and scams. And I'm going to talk about scams. I'm going to finish on scams. But if you just like me to cut through all the noise and just give you nice little solid foundations to build an understanding, that's what I do. This week I've been flat out doing personal consultations. That's William in the office ringing me. I'll just hang up on him. But this week I've been flat out. I've been doing personal consults. I've been all over the country, and it's been awesome just sitting down with people, going through their thesis, helping them build a thesis, looking at their strategy, or if they have no strategy, you know, trying to construct a strategy with them, or just trying to help them understand what the hell Bitcoin is. I do this on a one-to-one level, okay, but I also do it in large groups, and I do a free Bitcoin basics course. It's next Thursday. Check out www.cryptowithdinny.com. Get on board, and I'll see you there. It's a bit of crack. What else? Well, scams. I want to talk about scams. So you can see in the comments there, Crypto with Dinny. You see, the thing about social media is anyone can set up 1 million accounts called Crypto with Dinny, and I ban 3 or 4 every day, and robots set up another 100 every day. So it's impossible, okay? Same on Instagram. People set up Crypto With Dinny accounts all the time. Now, they don't look exactly the same as mine. There's a misspelling or there's a hyphen somewhere. Don't get caught out by these. I don't message you. I won't be messaging you asking to invest your funds. I won't want to trade your funds. If you listen to me for a while, you'll know trading is a great way to give away your money. The people who do well in crypto are the hodlers, okay? People who do well in all investing are hodlers. And it just means you buy the assets and you hold the assets over a period of time. So it's not get rich quick, it's get rich slow, okay? But you can get very wealthy slowly. And slowly in crypto is like a decade, 4 years, 5 years, so it's not like legacy where slowly means 60 years. You have a few quid when you're like 70 or something. Like, nah, crypto is, you do the right things with crypto for 5 years, you can really make a massive impact in your life, in your freedom. But anyway, how these scams work is someone will impersonate it, and this happens all the time. BitBoy Crypto himself does be personally messaging me. I know he's got 1,000,003 subscribers, but he takes time out of his day to send me a message to see how my portfolio is doing. And that's very kind of him. But I'm obvious to know that it's not him. But it might be a little bit more believable to think Dinny Collins might send you a message to say, well, David, what's the crack? How's your portfolio going? And you're chatting away to a scammer thinking you're talking to me. I never reach out to anybody. Just be aware of that. Okay? I never trade anyone's money. Don't send people your money. Scammers will sort of get you into some program. It's just like the feckin' African prince with all the gold. It's like, you might pay 50 quid into some little trading thing or a tenner, and then you'll make loads of money, and they'll be able to show you all this money that you made, and then you'll need to send more money to access the loads of money that you have, Send me some money and I'll send you all the gold, this sort of stuff. But people are falling for it, alright? Because I get messages off people that are falling for it, and I know a lot of you guys are like, what? How can anyone fall for that? When there's loads of money on the table, and you think you're going to get quick money, I've been guilty as well. You don't think rationally. Okay, and there's always a scarcity and urgency on any scam. That has to be now and it has to be quick, and there's no time to think. Lads, just be sensible. It's your money. Don't give it away. It's hard enough to get stuff in the first place. Because if you like the tips, do me a favour. The only thing I ask is hit the like button. If you enjoyed the tips and if anyone trying to learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, Robert's getting 3-4 scam calls a week. Yeah, I don't even answer my phone anymore, because of the amount of scam calls I get. Which is hard, because anyone who doesn't know me struggles to get in contact with me. But I'm just like, what? Good luck. And this isn't just true crypto, it's just true everything, Amazon scams, PayPal scams, it's just a nightmare. Revenue scams, tax back, fucking speeding camera fines, whatever. It's just mad stuff. So look after yourselves. Remember, Dinny won't be messaging you. I haven't time. I haven't even time to make fucking videos lately, being honest. That's why you don't see much of me. But it's good to see us on. You keep sharing my pictures on Facebook. That is me, James. I don't want to. Yeah, scammers will do that to get your attention. So just be aware, guys. Look after yourself. What about the Bill lad? Let me know in the comments. Is he crazy putting 50% of his own personal net worth in Bitcoin? Or is that a really bold statement for the state of financial affairs and what's to come over this decade? Anyway, one of the amazing things, I'll leave you a little Dinny bomb. Dinny bombs for people who stay on and watch the whole video. I like to leave a little bomb. Put bomb in the comments. Put love the bomb so that people who didn't see the bomb don't know what I'm talking about, okay? Last thing that I thought was really insightful of what Bill talked about, and again, you'll hear me talk about it all the time, but me and Bill, we agree on this. So, the supply of Bitcoin is known, okay? It's a known supply. And that's really, really cool. The next thing is that the demand doesn't affect the supply. So the demand for Bitcoin can go through the roof. Everyone will want it, but it doesn't affect how much Bitcoin there'll be. That's unlike anything else in the world. I call it finite. The only things in life that are finite are our time on this earth, how long we get. No one knows how long we get, okay? And Bitcoin, they're the only two things that really, are finite, I think. So the demand for Bitcoin won't affect the supply. So if the whole world decides they want to own Bitcoin, it doesn't make any more Bitcoin. It just makes Bitcoin much more valuable. And I think that's one of the reasons why Bill has gone in so heavy into Bitcoin. Okay? Because Bitcoin is at the same scarcity right now as gold, as physical gold, around 1.5%. And for the price of Bitcoin to continue to rise each year, it just means that the network has to grow by 1.5% per year for the price of Bitcoin to go up. Now I can tell you from my experience of working in the industry, my phone doesn't stop. My emails don't stop. There's people who haven't a clue and they're joining the network. So just in my bubble, it's way more than 1.5% people who are coming into the Bitcoin network. Alright, and all it needs is 1.5% growth for the price of Bitcoin to go up. And I think me and Bill are thinking along the same lines, that there's a hell of a lot more people in joining the Bitcoin network than 1.5%. And this is number go up technology. So remember, focus on value, not price. Price is a lagging indicator. Bitcoin's price goes down. If you don't own Bitcoin, you should love that. If you only own a few little Satoshis, you should love that. Now's your chance to buy it for cheaper. Dollar cost average, build up. That's what I do. That's why every week I buy Bitcoin. Bill Miller, legendary investor, Catherine, check him out. Guys, I'm going to jump off. I got to go to the post office, have the crack. Have a super day, Dinny out.